RuneLite in RuneScape 3. It's always been thought of as impossible and that an entire client rework would need to be done to make it work. And sure, we have Alt1 Toolkit, but there are a lot of features that RuneLite offers in old school RuneScape that Alt1 doesn't offer in RS3. Well, this might not be the case going forward. Just this past week, a fellow RuneScape 3 player and web developer by the name of VincentS put together a new alternative to Rune Metrics called RM Tracker. I spoke with Vincent about his project and he was able to give me a bit of insight into RM Tracker and some of the future plans on adding new features we've never seen with any other RuneScape 3 tracker. Before we look at the future possibilities of RM Tracker, let's take a look at what's already available. It is brand new and definitely in the early stages, so it's a bit bare bones right now, but it is very promising in terms of some of the features that are expected to be added to RM Tracker in the future. So first, you can visit RM Tracker using the link in the description below or going to rm-tracker.com. When first logging on to RM Tracker, you will find yourself in the welcome page where you can put in your RuneScape username to start tracking your data. So I'll just put in my username, SilencedYT, and we'll take a look at what the site can offer. As you can see, it is basically trying to replicate Rune Metrics, so the design's very similar. So the summary page is very similar to Rune Metrics, if not identical. You know, it shows your different skills and the XP in them. It has the quest page. It also shows your clan. And if you click on the clan, it actually will bring you to the clan page on runescape.com, which is really neat. And we'll just take a look at the quest portion as well. This is also really cool. So I haven't completed a void dance. And if you click on it, it brings up the quick guide. So that is kind of helpful, actually really cool that it has that integrated into it. So those are some pretty unique features to the current RM Tracker. Now if we go down to the next tab, we'll go to Activity. Basically just your event log from Rune Metrics. So right now it only has 20 events, and that's because I just logged in. But going forward, it will start to track each future event, which is really cool. The drops tab currently doesn't work, but it is a feature that is planned to be working later on. And this is a feature that no one has been able to create as of yet. So we'll see how that goes, but it is promising. We'll just go to the levels part. So as you can see, this graph doesn't show anything because, again, I just logged in, so it isn't showing any extra data. But logging into one of the creators' accounts here, just looking at the data, so you can see that it is working. You can see the graph does show some information there, very similar to some other trackers we've had in the past, RunePixels being the more popular one right now. And you can filter by skill, very similar to how you can do that in RunePixels. And then there's also the levels progression tab, which is very similar to Rune Metrics as well. So those are all the current features with RM Tracker. It is pretty impressive that he was able to do this so fast. I think he's only been working on the project well, for a few weeks. It's been very recent. Now, while this is really cool that he was able to sort of replicate Rune Metrics, right now we do have RunePixels, which is a working tracker for RuneScape 3, and it works really well. A lot of really good features on here, similar to RM Tracker. And if we're comparing RM Tracker to RunePixels, RunePixels is currently much better. It has a lot more features. It's been established for a while, and just more user-friendly as well, I've noticed. But I still think RM Tracker is very impressive and definitely something to get excited about. Although the current features are sort of what we already have with RunePixels, some of the future features, the planned features, they are really impressive. So let's talk a bit about that and my discussion with Vincent in terms of the future of RM Tracker. The main thing that Vincent thinks is missing from all of these different trackers is the implementation with the Alt1 Toolkit. This tool, it is insanely powerful and he thinks it should be taken more seriously. Alt1 Toolkit has many features that are extremely powerful. I mean, one of the big ones is the clue solver. The clue solver really shows the capability of Alt1 Toolkit. It can help you solve any puzzle or even the scan features with clues. And it's just really helpful overall, and it really shows that Alt1 Toolkit can read your screen and give you information based on that. And that's sort of what RuneLite does, except it's more integrated with the client. Some of the features that Vincent is planning to add to RM Tracker include 1, a better drop logger. Now we do have this with Rune Metrics. I think it's kind of broken or it doesn't work very well, but having something like that that is free or added to Alt1 Toolkit would be awesome, and that is the plan. But the hope for Vincent is to be able to track all creature kills, track their kill counts, what you got from them, so you can really see the loot you get from each creature. Very similar to how RuneLite's drop log works, where it tracks all items you receive from anything, and you can just go back and see, and it's kind of cool to track data like that. Another unique feature that could maybe be added is a Hiscores. This could be for even boss kills. Old school RuneScape has a boss Hiscores and has had it for a long time, and it's been a feature that has been highly requested in RuneScape 3, but just hasn't made it. So I think this would be a feature a lot of players would love, and it makes sense. I mean, Vincent says that if Alt1 Toolkit can sort of read your screen, it should be able to see your adventure log and see how many kills you have in a certain boss and just track it all and put it on a Hiscores. Now, Rune apps or Alt1 Toolkit did have this feature in the past, but it is no longer working and hasn't been working for quite some time. But it definitely seems feasible to get something like this up and running for RuneScape 3, which I would absolutely love to see, and put it on a Hiscores. And I think it does make sense. So those are the 2 main features that Vincent is going to look to add, sort of a drop log or a loot log, and then also Hiscores, which would include boss Hiscores, and that would be really cool to see. We're obviously limited with what we can do with Alt1 Toolkit, but this year we've seen some really cool projects, including VincentS, but there's also been the RS3 Quest Buddy, which was released not too long ago and I made a video on, and that's been really helpful. I mean, it's integrated with Alt1 Toolkit, and it has some pretty good functionality. It isn't as good as Quest Helper in old school RuneScape or RuneLite, but we really can't get to that degree where we can actually change the mechanics of the game, like things like change the left click options on items, add tile markers, things like that. That's just not something Alt1 Toolkit can do. Despite that, it looks like we might be getting some really unique features added in the future. You know, something like the drop log that Rune Metrics has would be really awesome to see in Alt1 Toolkit or with RM Tracker that Vincent is trying to create. And it's crazy that a boss kill Hiscores has not been made in RuneScape 3 yet. I don't understand why it isn't. I mean, you can even quick chat the amount of boss kills you have. You can go to your adventure tab and check to see how many boss kills you have. And there should be some way to compile that data with Alt1 Toolkit, and that's something Vincent is going to be trying to do. And honestly, that's probably my favorite feature out of all of them that is likely a possibility with what's going on and what Vincent is developing. So that is all I have for you in this video. It'll be interesting to see how Vincent's RM Tracker project does do in the future. If you are interested in helping him with the project or just joining the community within the project, he does have a Discord, and I will link that in the description down below. And as I said, you can join RM Tracker today just by going to rm-tracker.com and check it out for yourself. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.